This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, so let's get started. So today is day 2 and we are planning to do all these steps. Like first one is subscribe with a Microsoft Azure free trial. The second one is we will create 4 virtual machines. Then we'll put them on the same LAN network and same resource group. We will install Active Directory domain services role on domain computer, and then we will promote that computer as a domain controller, and we'll restart all the computers and join all the computers to the domain. So this is the today's agenda. So I'll just give you a high level diagram what we are going to do today. Okay. So first of all, I hope everyone has subscribed with 30 days free trial or on
Yep.
Microsoft Azure. Rakesh,
Yes, sir.
you have?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
Ram,
Yes, I have.
Yadvinder?
Yes, Kashif, I did.
Okay. Srinivas, you are on pay as you go, right?
Yes, Yaship.
Okay. Yogi, I'll send you one document. You need to subscribe with Microsoft Azure. Okay, that's
Sure.
for the first. So you need to subscribe for 30 days free trial, and then
Mm.
you will be able to perform all the tasks what we are going to do today. Okay.
Yeah. Can you share the first recording too along with that?
Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
Now what we are going to do, we are going to set up our SCCM lab in cloud. Okay, because we don't have minimum requirement or like 12 gigabyte of RAM and quad core processor in our local computer. So there are n number of cloud providers, like you have Google Cloud, then you have Microsoft Azure, then you have AWS. So we are choosing Azure Cloud Data Center. So in Azure, you have multiple data center available. So one in like US data center, another in Canada, right? Another one is in Southeast Asia. Then you have in India as well, right? Then it's in UK, and then Indonesia. There are a number of data center available in multiple region, somewhere around 35 to 40 data centers all over the globe. Now you need to choose which data center you would like to take to set up your SCCM servers. So any depends on your location, but I would suggest Southeast Asia. Why? Because Southeast Asia is the one where you can create 4 core processor computers. So 4 computers you can build there in Southeast Asia in free trial in one region. Okay. If you choose other region, so some will let you only 2 computers, some will let you only 3 computers, but this one um, will so you can create 4 computers in Southeast Asia. Now once you have chosen the data center region, that I'm going to put the data center in Southeast Asia, then inside that data center, what we are going to do, we are going to create one virtual network, right? And this is a public data center, not private data center. So it's accessible from anywhere. You can access this data center um, from any location. You just have to have an internet connection. So first of all, you need to create one virtual network. Sorry, not virtual network first. First of all, you need to create a resource group. What is resource group? Basically, resource group is resource is to group all the resources. So in cloud, in Azure, whatever you create, that is a resource, whether it is a network, whether it is a computer, whether it is a disk, hardware, anything you create there, that is one of the resource. Okay. So to group all the resources in one group, we call it grouping of resources in one. So we will create one resource group. So first the resource group is ready. Then we need to create one virtual network so that we can connect all our computers to the virtual network. So I'm gonna type in virtual network. Now after creating virtual network, we will create couple of computers here. So let's say this is going to be your one server, that is domain controller server. Another server, that is going to be your database server, right? Then another computer, that is going to be your SCCM primary site server. All these computers will be connected to the same LAN network, and we will have one client computer like Windows 10 or Windows 7, but Windows 10 client computer, and that will also be connected on the same LAN network. So there are 4 computers which we can create in Southeast Asia data center, and we are going to join all the computers to the same LAN network, and all will be grouped together in one resource group. Clear, guys, so far?
Yes.
So point number 1 is to create one resource group. Point number 2 is to have virtual network. Then we will create virtual machines, right? So 4 VMs. So this will be our lab architecture. Now after creating all these things, we need to have a domain controller. Why do we need to have a domain controller? Anyone knows about it? Did anyone work on Active Directory domain controller here? No one? Okay. So basically we need to have one domain controller. Domain controller is a prerequisite for SCCM. Without domain controller, you will not be able to install SCCM server. You must have a domain controller. Domain controller is basically a managing the devices and the users for authentication purposes, right? So let's say you have like thousands and thousands of computers and thousands of users. All those users and computers data are present in Active Directory, which is a domain controller component. So you can manage all the computers from domain controller for authentication purpose. So if user comes in, you can create users account in Active Directory. If you have computer, you can join it to the domain, so that all computers are domain joined computers, all user are domain users. So we need to have one domain controller. That's a prerequisite for SCCM, and then we will join all the computers to the domain. So first of all, subscribe with Azure free trial. That is already done. Everyone has already performed this task. Now we need to create resource group. Then we will have 4 virtual machines, and then we'll put them on the same LAN network. So I'm gonna make somebody as a presenter, and we will go step by step. Yadvinder, should I make you the presenter?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so I made you the presenter, and now we can see the screen. Oh. Okay, guys. Now,
I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
yes.
Okay.
Very good. Now, so this is the Azure portal, guys. First of all, when we subscribe with Azure, we get 30 days free trial and 13,300, somewhere around $200 credit. and that credit we can utilize to create resources inside Azure. Can you click on the bell icon which is at the right hand side? Yes, 13,300. So if you are in a different country, then you will get like if you are in US, you will get 200 US. So equivalent to 200 US dollar, we get the credit for the first 30 days, and this credit we can utilize to create resources inside Azure. Now let's click on all services at the left hand side in the list, and we see so many list here. I don't want all of them, so let's remove the unwanted things. So unstar this one, all resources, remove the star. Yes, and then remove star from cost management plus billing. No, we need resource group. Yeah, at the left hand side you have help and support, then go down and remove virtual machine scale set. Oh, that is not there. Function app. At the right hand side you have app services, remove that one too. Okay, then load balancer, we don't need load balancer. Go down, and storage account, we don't need storage accounts. Go down. Now remove this SQL databases and Azure Cosmos DB. Go down. Remove this Azure Active Directory, Security Center, and monitor, we don't need monitor. Advisor, we don't need advisor, and monitor. That's it. Very good. Now we need couple of more things here. So just on the top you have filter, type in disk in the search, disk, DISK. Yeah, choose that one, disks, first one, and also choose snapshot. Choose that one. Very good. So these are the only things which we need in SCCM lab. Okay, so let's click on resource group at the left hand side. So first of all, we need to create a resource group so that whatever the resources we are going to create, we can group them together and put it on the same resource group. Okay guys, so click on add. So in SCCM training, you are also learning Azure. At least 20 or 30% Azure you will be able to learn, so that in case if you get the requirement in your companies to create virtual machines or network or create resources, you will be able to do it yourself. Now type in the resource group name RG_SEA. It's not mandatory that you should take this name. You can choose anything of your choice, but just to keep everything as with the name, so RG means resource group _SEA Southeast Asia, and choose Southeast Asia in the list region and click on review plus create and create. So the group is ready. It's just like a security group in Active Directory, guys. Okay, click on refresh. Now we need to create a virtual network so that before we start building up our machines, virtual machines, we have the network ready. So all the computers can be connected to that network. So let's create a network. Add this is going to be a virtual network. Name VNet, capital or small VNet _SEA. So we are creating one virtual network in Southeast Asia data center. Address space. You can take class A, class B, class C. These things are not related to SCCM, guys. Understand this thing. These things are related to Azure and the networking, right? So we are creating a network. So in companies, if you are building up any server, you already have these things available. Okay. VNet. Now the class address space. Anything of your choice, but I would take for the simplicity 10.10.0.0 10.10.0.0 slash 1616. So this is a class B address wherein I can have 65,536 IP address in this range, right? Now the resource group, join it to the same resource group which we have created, and the location Southeast Asia, that is fine. Subnet underscore SEA. Address range. Now you need to create one subnet, the first subnet. So you have got how many? 65,536. Now you can divide them into multiple subnets. So the first subnet in this range is going to be 10.10.1.0/24. Okay. Now in this subnet, you can have 256 IP address. So we can have 256 computers. Got it?
Yes.
Now click on create. So this is related to networking, guys, not SCCM. Okay. But we are learning from scratch so that we know what all things we have to perform before we start. Suppose you get a task to deploy SCCM from scratch, so you'll be able to understand each and everything. Now, so this network is getting ready. Refresh. You will have to wait for some more time before
I think
this.
it's still processing.
Yeah, still processing. Yeah. Clear? This network is ready. Now let's go to virtual machine at the left hand side, and we'll be creating virtual machines. So add first virtual machine name. Now choose the resource group which we have created. It is taking the default resource group, network watcher. We don't need network watcher. We need SEA underscore RG underscore SEA, the one which we have created. Now virtual machine name, the first we have to create 3 virtual servers, domain, database, SCCM. So let's give the name as domain, the first server domain, and it is going to be in Southeast Asia. Now image, click on that image, Ubuntu. Now we can take 2016 as well, but that takes more processor and more RAM. So I would suggest to go with the 2012 R2 data center. And one CPU, 3.5 gigabyte RAM. That is okay. One CPU, 3.5 gigabyte of RAM. If you take more processor and more RAM, then you will have to pay more. Okay. So that will be little more expensive. I'm going with the cheapest one. Now username, your name, Yadvinder, and your password. Okay. Now you need to make a note of this username and password. If you forget it, then you will have to reset this password, okay, to log into this computer. Now, to log into this computer, we need to allow incoming port, and that is going to be RDP port. So choose allow selected port and choose RDP. So we will be able to remotely connect to this computer from anywhere. Click on review, go up, click on disk, the second option. Yeah, so it is going to take the premium SSD disk, hard disk, that is fine. Click on networking. It's gonna be connected to the same network what we have created, right? vnet underscore SEA. Very good. Click on management and turn that off, boot diagnostic. We don't need boot diagnostic. Okay, now click on review plus create down at the bottom, and now it's gonna cost you somewhere around 9 rupees 58 paise per hour. So it's hourly based. So if you use this server for 1 hour, then you will have to pay somewhere around 10 rupees. Srinivas,
Yes,
you are on
understood.
pay as you go. So if you are using this for, let's say, 4 computers, then you will have to pay 40 rupees per
Right.
hour. Okay, now so it's getting created. It will take like 5 minutes for this server to get ready. Okay, now let's create second server, that is going to be the database. Choose the resource group and same username and same password you can put, and Windows Server 2012
Hi,
R2
Kashyap.
data center.
Hello,
Yes,
Kashyap. This
hi.
is Yogi. I have one question here. Uh,
Yes.
s- so the resource group is a domain. When we're selecting the resource group, is it a domain or?
No. The resource group is just to group the resources, because virtual machine is one of the resources in Azure. Virtual network is one of the resources. So we are creating multiple resources in Azure, like network, virtual machines, subnet. These are all resources. To group them all together, like you have one bag and you are putting all the resources inside that bag.
Okay.
So resource group is just to group all the resources.
Oh, okay.
Okay. RDP, yes, and go up. Disk, premium disk, networking. So that is fine. And management, and click on boot diagnostic off, review plus create.
Kashyap, one question. Any changes here? Already have a Windows license.
No, you don't have license, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Review plus create, yeah. So it's gonna cost you somewhere around 9.58 paise. So those who are on free trial, they don't have to worry about it, because it's gonna cost you from the credit which you have got, 13,300 credit. Okay, it's not going to charge anything from your credit card or from your bank account, nothing. Now the third server is going to be your SCCM server. So let's create SCCM PS primary site, and virtual machine Windows Server 2012 R2 data center. Same username and same password. Okay, allow selected port. You need to connect through remote desktop connection. Go up, go to management, turn off the boot diagnostic, and review plus create. We need to create one more machine, that is Windows 10. Windows. Instead of type in Windows 10, type in client 1 and choose Windows 10 image. Take 1803. No, don't take 1809. We would like to update it from 1803 to 1809 and change the CPU because you have two CPU. You will not be able to create this. Let's take click on vCPU on the top. The sorted with vCPU, please. The column name. That's the column name. vCPU.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And take this one. One CPU and 3.5 RAM. Go down. The below one, because that is, you see at the right hand side you have cost. So I'm taking the one which is the cheapest one, 3800. Yeah, choose that one. Srinivas, you do not create this Windows 10 for now, only the servers. Okay,
Okay, Kashyap.
I'll let you know when you have to create Windows 10.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Click on, no worries, networking, and go up, turn off, review plus create. It's gonna cost you 5 rupees 22 paise. Okay, very good. So we now have 3 servers ready. Now let's do one thing. Right click on domain and connect. I think you are using this one, Mac operating system, right?
Yeah, I have Mac.
Okay, so probably you will have to download another application called remote desktop connection.
I actually have a Windows as well, so from tomorrow I can switch. But for today, I think. Do you need me to download
Okay,
it now or?
okay, no worries. You can download that application, remote
Mhm.
desktop client, from Mac Play Store or Apple App Store, I think.
Okay. Do you want to download it now?
Yes, go ahead, because you will not be able to connect to this computer.
Oh, okay.
Remote desktop. Yes, this is the one. Those who are using Windows, they don't have to download this, okay? Okay, now click on new. Okay, so you actually need to get the public IP address from the connection name. So you can type in domain. Okay, and go back to that website, Azure portal. Click on domain, left click on domain, and click on this public IP. At the right hand side, you have public IP. Copy that. Okay. Now click on static. Click on static. So it will not change. The public IP will remain same. Okay. Copy that public IP and save it on the top.
Do you need to paste it here somewhere? Or?
Yeah, in the PC name, you have to put the public IP address. Okay. Go back to the website and save. Click on save. Yes. Now go back to that virtual machine client. Yes, and add it. Done.
It's not giving any option to save. Probably I need to close it. It's asking for this as well, I think.
Okay. Type in anything of your choice. lab/Yadvinder and password. Lab/ the other slash Yadvinder and the password. But how will you save it? Yeah, close this. Close. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Now double click on this. Is it connecting? Continue. Yeah, remove /lab/ because the domain is not yet available. Yeah. So we need to use the username Yadvinder and password. Can you put the correct password, please? Very good. Now, so we logged into which server? This is domain server. And this is a plain blank server. We have not configured anything. We need to make this computer as a domain controller. So to make this computer as a domain controller, we need to perform certain tasks. So let's click on local server at the left hand side. Now you see the second option in the right hand side. What does it say? Windows Update. Install updates automatically. It's going out to the internet to download the updates. We don't want computers to go outside to the internet to download updates. We will have SCCM server. That server will be deploying the patches to all the computers. So updates will be downloaded from SCCM, not from internet. So click on that and click on change settings and click on never check for update. So do not go outside to the internet for any Windows update. Close this. The second thing is IE enhanced security is turned on. So IE enhanced security is basically when you go to any website to download any application or any files, it is giving you a prompt. Do you really want to go to the website, as it is a server? So just for the security reason, but we want that to be turned off. So turn that off. Click OK. And you see we have IPv6 enabled here. We don't need IPv6. We only need IPv4 address. So click on this and right click on Ethernet properties and make sure you choose uncheck IPv6. Do not uncheck IPv4. If you do that, you will not be able to connect to this computer again. Got it? So these are the basic configuration we had to perform. Now let's go ahead. No, that's fine. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and click on, we need to install one role, that is Active Directory Domain Services role, and that will help us to make this computer as a domain controller. So before we install domain controller, before we promote this computer as a domain controller, we need to install a prerequisite, and the prerequisite name is Active Directory Domain Services role. So let's go ahead and click on dashboard, and then click on add roles and features. Next, and you need to make sure the destination server at the right hand side, which is written here, destination server is domain. Very good. Next. Next. Now choose the second option, Active Directory Domain Services. So this, yeah, add feature, this one is basically a prerequisite before we promote this server as a domain controller. So next, 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 install. You guys following, everyone?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Now let's okay, almost there. It is gonna take few more seconds to do the installation. We are going to make this computer as a domain controller plus the DNS server. So what is DNS server? Anyone knows about it? DNS? No one?
It gives IP addresses to the computer names.
Yes. Yeah, so basically it is converting the name into IP, IP into name. Let's say you type in www.google.com on your browser. What happens? It goes to the local DNS first, then it goes to the public DNS. It keeps on checking the public DNS until it gets the response from some server, right? So the DNS is basically uh, changing the computer into IP address, name into IP and IP into name, so that you can get the response. So we will create one local DNS. So all our computers will first check the entry in local DNS rather than going outside to the internet. Got it? So this server is going to be the internal DNS server plus the domain controller. So now click on that link which says promote this. Okay, you click on that exclamation mark, the yellow exclamation mark, and choose promote this server to a domain controller. Now, do we have any domain at the moment? No. Do we have any forest? No. We don't have anything existing. We are going to create one forest. So let's go ahead and choose the third option, add a new forest, and the root domain name lab.com. Anything of your choice, like yadvinder.com, pepsi.com, thumbs up, Coca-Cola, anything, but I will go with the simple one, lab.com. Okay, next. Now the functional level is 2012, that is fine. It is going to be the DNS server as well, and we will leave that checkbox as it is. Now it is asking for the password. This password is basically when the domain is crashed and you are restoring the domain. At that point of time, it is going to ask you for the password for the authority. So you may choose any password of your choice. I would suggest the same password. Next. Now currently we don't have any DNS, so we can't create any DNS delegation. So uncheck that box. Next. Now NetBIOS is a previous technology from Microsoft. It's a program which helps multiple computers to talk to each other. but that is already decommissioned and not utilized anymore. If you do not have DNS, then this comes into the picture. So we can leave it as it is. Next. This is the location where database folder, log folder, sysvol folder of Active Directory will be saved. So we'll leave that as it is. Next. This is checking the the review, whatever you have selected, all those options are showing up. Next. Then it's checking the prerequisite, whether this server is eligible enough to become a domain controller or not. You may get some warning because we have not assigned as a static IP address. That's one of the prerequisites, but that's okay. At the top it is saying all prerequisite passed successfully. Click on install. So now it is getting installed. The domain controller is getting ready. Clear, guys? How do we set up a domain controller and DNS both at the same time?
Yes.
Yes, Kashyap.
Yes, sir.
Now this server is going to be the DNS server, right? We want our computers to talk to this let's say we type in www.google.com in any of the computer which are like SCCM, domain, database, Windows 10. It will first check in the local DNS. We want that setting. It should not go outside to the internet first. It should first check internally. So to make that thing we to get that configured, we need to define the DNS server in the virtual network section. So can you open command prompt here and check the IP address of this computer? Type in cm ipconfig. What is the IP address? 10.10.1.4. So this is the DNS server, right? This server is going to be the DNS server and the IP address is 10.10. So we want all computer to communicate to this DNS server internally first before it goes out to the internet. Okay. So let's minimize the server and go to Azure portal and go to virtual network at the left hand side and click on this VNet SEA and click on DNS servers at the left hand side. Now as you see, all the computers connected to this virtual network are pointing to Azure provided DNS, the public DNS, right? We don't want public DNS, we want the custom one. So 10.10.1.4, the local DNS. We want all the computer to point to the local DNS. Save that. Clear? So all the computers are now connected to the local DNS server. Let's go back to let's connect to, okay, so is that installed, domain controller?
It's still in progress.
Okay, configuring the DNS server. So it's basically domain controller is done. It is now configuring the DNS now. Now in the meantime, can you restart all the computers except domain, because we made some changes in the DNS. So to replicate the changes in all the computers, we need to restart all the computers except domain. Don't restart domain. Right click on each one of them except right no okay you try that one and click on restart. Restart, yes. And once you are done with your session, make sure you stop these computers. And it's very important for Srinivas.
Or else the
So,
billing would continue.
yes,
Hmm?
yes, understood.
So you have a stop option there. You see, you
Kashif,
need to, yes.
sorry to disturb you in a minute. This is Yogi. So the client is the client machine. The database is a SQL database, right?
It's
When you
just
say database here.
we just give the name of the computer. We have not done anything. These are
Oh
just
yeah, you're
plain.
not configured, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
you will be configuring SQL database in the
Yes.
database server,
Yes. Yes.
and the domain is the domain controller, and the
Right.
SCCM server will be SCCM PS, and the client
Primary
would
server.
be understand, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, got it.
I think they've restarted. It's succeeded.
We started. So connect to each one of them. Connect to all the computers and make the IP address static. Otherwise, it will keep on changing. So click on that public IP address. Choose static and save and copy the IP address. No, first you add the IP into remote desktop connection because you have copied the IP address. Add new,
This
click on
one, right?
new. No. Click on new. Now type in client one. This is the client one machine, right? CL cancel. Yeah. Now username and password. Currently you have not joined to the domain, so that's just keep it blank for now, okay, and close it. Double click on client one. Continue. Yeah, Dvinder and password. This one is connecting to Windows 10, right? Yes. Now similarly connect the Windows, this one, SCCM and database. Those who are using Windows computers, they just have to right click and connect. You will get a RDP file and connect. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you have to perform all these tasks after the session. When you watch the video, I'll be sending the video in few minutes after the session, and make sure you perform all these tasks. Every day I'm gonna choose each one of you. Like today we have done everything on Yadvinder's computer. Tomorrow I may choose anyone, somebody else.
Kashif, should I leave this blank for now? Like I'm calling it database and then
Yeah,
put the
yeah,
IP.
leave it blank for now. Once you have the accounts ready in Active Directory, then you can put the account there. So you don't have to insert the username and password every time. It will take by default. SCCM, the last one. Yogi, are you using WhatsApp application?
Yeah, I'm using it.
Okay. Okay, so I'll give you my number. You can send me a hi message.
Sure.
Then I am going to create one WhatsApp group today,
Okay.
and then whatever the documents and the videos I'll be sharing on that WhatsApp, you can use that to download. Okay, so which computer is this? SCCM?
It's a lot of computers open. Is there a way that I can check?
Advinder?
Yep.
Sorry,
Kashif, can you hear me?
Advinder, which computer? Yes. Now, is the domain controller server ready or not? We were installing domain controller, right?
Yep.
Is that ready or not? Can you take me to the domain controller, please? No, you have to put lab because lab is the domain, right? You cannot log in with the local
Okay.
account. Okay, guys, so we installed Active Directory domain controller on this. I mean, we promoted this computer as a domain controller. Now let's join all the computers to the domain.
One question. After installing or after activating the feature, is the server restarted?
Automatically restarted.
Okay, okay. Done.
Okay, now let's go ahead and join all the computers to the domain. So let's go to SCCM or database or client one and join it to the domain. So how will you join Windows 10 computer? So let's close this website. Now this is Windows 10 computer and we would like to join it to the domain. So right click on start and click on run and type in slash, just no other slash, and click OK. Okay. Now right click on this PC and properties, change settings and click on change, click on domain, type in lab.com. Very good, guys. So that is how you join a computer to the domain. You need to put the domain admin username and password, and similarly you join another computer, other two computers, database and SCCM. Close it and restart. Now log into SCCM server and join it to the domain. No, go to the desktop, desktop, choose desktop,
Yep.
Just yeah, at the left hand side you have local server. Click on work group, change domain lab.com. Put the username and password. That is your domain admin username and password. Now join database to the domain. Lab.com. Click OK. Okay guys, so we have joined all the computers to the domain, right? Now let's go to virtual machine at the left hand side and stop all these computers because we don't want to get charged for unnecessary utilization. Right click on each one of them and stop. So this is, you have to perform this task every day after the session. Once you are done with your practicals or assignments, you make sure you stop all these computers so that Microsoft will not charge you when you are not using the computers. Got it?
Yep.
Yes, Kashyap.
Srinivas, this is a very crucial step for you
Understood.
because other people are using pay, this one free account. That's okay, but when you are using pay as you go, then you have to be a little more uh, careful. Now let me share my screen and take you through the things what we have done. So today what we did, we created a virtual network, right? Well, we have created 4 virtual machines and join all the computer to the same LAN network, and then we promoted domain as a domain controller, and the domain name, what is the domain name? Lab.com, right?
Yep.
All the computers like SCCM, database and client computer, all of them are joined to the domain. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So these are the steps which we have done. So first step 1, subscribe with Azure free trial, created 4 virtual machine, put them on the same LAN network and same resource group, install Active Directory domain services role on domain computer, promoted that as a domain controller and the domain name as lab.com. We configured the DNS in virtual network setting in to so that all computers to point to the local DNS, restarted all the computers and join all the computers like database, SCCM and Windows 10 to domain. So these are the steps which we have performed today. I hope everyone clear, or any question? Anyone?
Yes, Kashyap, this is Srini here.
Uh,
In the domain server, we switched off Windows Update and IE Enhancer off all the things. Do we need
mhm.
to do the same thing in all
Yes.
the other servers?
Yes. We have to
Okay.
do the same thing on SCCM and database. Good question.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Any question from anyone? Yogi,
No,
Rakesh,
Kashyap, I'm good.
Ram Prabhu? Okay,
Actually,
guys.
no.
So I'll send you the videos, and you need to perform all the tasks what we have done. Okay. So make sure whatever we have done today, I want everyone to perform the same task and come to the same page. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So I hope the session was informative. I'll meet you in the same time tomorrow.
Kashif, this is
Yes.
Yogi. Can you share the WhatsApp number so that I can
Yeah,
get
my
in touch
WhatsApp
with you?
number is plus 91 because that is India code 989-235-4331.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Yeah.
And whatever the
So I
videos
will ping you
I'm
my email ID. So yeah,
okay,
yeah. Go ahead.
whatever the video links I'm sending to you guys, kindly download them. Okay, because videos may not be available after like 1 month from now. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Kashif.
Okay, guys.
So
Thank you.
you will be sending them after every class, or we need to go to the any portal and download them?
No, after every class, I'm gonna send you the links,
Okay.
and you can download that video on your local computer so that
Sure.
it's available to you as and when you need it.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. And
Sounds
those
good.
who have not made the payment, kindly make the payment today. Okay, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.